This is the loudest,
Rock and roll!
most explosive band in heavy metal history. This is Spinal Tap.
Yes, it's been over 40 years since we first saw Spinal Tap, the rockumentary that any rock fan anywhere in the world can meet another, shake hands, and instantly start reciting lines from it.
He died. He died in a bizarre gardening accident.
And with the news that the brand new Spinal Tap movie is just around the corner, we thought we'd ask you for your best Spinal Tap moment.
I think he's right. There's something about this that's so black. It's like, how much more black could this be? And the answer is none.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
And you know what? We had such a huge response from you that for the next hour, we're going to bring you the Tap Top 10, the scenes in the movie that you love the most.
The bit in the airport, of course, with the guy in spandex with the cucumber down the front of his trousers.
Do you have any artificial plates or limbs?
Not really, no.
I think I almost wet myself.
Oh, you know where they're Elvis Presley's grave? One of them just starts singing Heartbreak Hotel, doesn't they? And then it's like, then they all start, and then one puts his finger in his ear.
Well, since my baby. The same key, though, I think.
Only a musician would do this, do you know what I mean?
One memorable thing about that film is just one word: Stonehenge.
In ancient times. I really think you're just making a much too big a thing out of it.
Making a big thing out of it would have been a good idea.
And that some of our best-loved rock stars recognised from their own career.
Bobby Rock, our drummer, got stuck in the service elevator. The show starts and there's no drummer. Where's Bobby? And he's stuck in the service elevator. Oh, it's so Spinal Tap.
Yes, it's the Spinal Countdown. Oh, sorry, wrong band. I'm Mark Jeeves. Welcome to Planet Rock's Tap Top 10, as chosen by you. Hello, I'm Mark Jeeves, and welcome to the Tap Top 10, your favourite bits from the original movie as we celebrate the brand new Spinal Tap film, The End Continues. Now, we could have set up a rigidly monitored scientific online poll, which was then independently verified by a panel of experts, but that wouldn't really have been very Spinal Tap, would it? So instead, we just went on Planet Rock's social media feeds and asked you what your favourite scenes were.
It's such a fine line between stupid and clever.
I then did a rough sort of tot-up, and here we are, with your top 10 Spinal Tap moments taken from the original movie, released on March the 2nd, 1984. And before we dig into the scene that you voted at number 10, let's hear from some of Planet Rock's own rock star DJs about the first time they saw that classic movie, starting with the Little Angels' Toby Jepson.
Spinal Tap to me really represents one thing, and that to me is the greatest comedy film ever made. Now, irrespective of it being about the music business, it is belly laughs. I mean, how many quotable lines from the film are there? It's just almost impossible to measure. Now, I remember seeing the film for the very first time on Channel 4 when Channel 4 launched, and they had a whole sort of series for about a week or so of music programming, and one of which was Spinal Tap. And I can remember watching it in rapt awe and just sort of, I couldn't work out whether it was a documentary or not, really. I mean, I think that was the genius of it, really. And of course, years later, when we were on the road and meeting other musicians and having watched the film several times, and we used to have it on our bus all the time, just constantly playing, you know, it was so funny. But really, I think every musician who's seen that film will agree it's about as close to the truth as you're ever going to get about the music business. It was so well observed, so well written, and so close to the bone.
I find it impossible to isolate any one specific scene in the movie Spinal Tap because everybody in the music industry will have something that resonates with them. I watched the premiere in 1982 at a cinema in London, and I was sat directly behind Tom Dolby, he of She Blinded Me with Science fame, who had worked on the Pyromania album. And he kept turning round to me and looking at the band every time something funny happened and just giggled at us as though this only happened to people like us. But I saw a fantastic interview with Tom Waits, the legendary Tom Waits, who said that he actually cried when he saw the film because it was so close to his life. So that did make me feel a little better about myself.
Joe Elliott from Def Leppard there, with memories of seeing the Spinal Tap movie for the very first time, and Tom Waits' tears. Thunder's Danny Bowes went one better. He spent a night with the actual band.
I've got a very personal Spinal Tap story because I think it was 91 maybe, very early days of grunge, we were invited to play at a party in Hollywood, in Los Angeles, for a publisher of a magazine who had supported the band, and a nice bloke he was too. So anyway, we said we would do it. So on the day of the gig, we show up, and there's loads of bands on the bill. Some of them are kind of old school, bit more what you call rock and roll bands, and some were grunge bands. So you could imagine the audience was kind of split into two factions. But strangely, in the middle was Spinal Tap. And they showed up in character. They had all the gear on, the wigs, and they did the accents, and it was so funny. The audience loved them. We had pictures taken with them and thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. The audience hated us. Well, half of them did. The other half loved us. And it was the same for the grunge bands. But Spinal Tap, they absolutely nailed it.
Now, we'll hear more from Joe, Danny and Toby later on the show. But right now, it's time to hit that chart. And at number 10, you voted one of the very early scenes from that original film, which also happens to be a favourite of Planet Rock listener Hussein Badreldin.
Oh, you know where they're Elvis Presley's grave? One of them just starts singing Heartbreak Hotel, doesn't he?
Well, since my baby left me, I found a new place to dwell. Well, it's down at the end of Lonely Street, that Heartbreak Hotel. Do it with the harmony parts. Right. Well, since my baby... The same key, though, I think.
And then it's like, then they all start, and then one puts his finger in his ear, and he's kind of like, it goes from like something that anyone could be kind of doing to sort of, well, this is what only a musician would do this. Do you know what I mean?
Spinal Tap. And tonight, I'm Gonna Rock You Tonight, as played by David St. Hubbins, Nigel Tufnell and Derek Smalls. On drums, we heard Mick Shrimpton, and we'll hear more about their drummers later. And we should reserve a special mention for the keyboard player, Viv Savage, played by actor and musician David Caff, who many of you might remember from the great prog rock band Rare Bird. We sadly lost David earlier this year. His great classic line from the movie was just outside the top 10, but worthy of inclusion here.
If I were to ask you what your philosophy of life or your creed, what would that be?
Have a good time all the time. That's my philosophy, Marty.
Number 9.
You know, it might have been better if the album had been mixed right.
Well,
you know,
he's crying out loud, but of course that's true. I mean, it
just wasn't. It was mixed all wrong, wasn't it?
It was mixed wrong?
Yeah.
Were you there?
Couldn't hear the drums.
But she's heard the record. So your judgment is it was mixed wrong?
You couldn't hear the lyrics on all of it.
You don't agree that you can't hear the vocals?
No, I do not agree, no.
Well, I think maybe it's interesting that she's bringing it up. Well, she'd like to hear the vocals. I mean, it's like saying, you know, you're using your own conditioner for your hair. You know, don't be stupid. It looks sort of...
You don't do heavy metal in Dobley, you know. I mean,
in what? In what?
What? You can't.
In Dobley, I mean, you can't.
In Dublin? She means Dolby, all right? She means Dolby. You know perfectly well what she means. You shan't recover from this one. You shan't recover from this one.
Oh, come on. Yes, as we all know, you don't do heavy metal in Dobley, but then at number 8, you don't look at Nigel Tufnell's guitars either.
So you've never even played it? See?
You just bought it?
Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
I wasn't going to touch it.
No, don't touch it.
I was just pointing at it.
Well, don't point even.
Don't even point?
No, it can't be played. Never. I mean,
Can I look at it?
No, you've seen enough of that one.
Ah, Nigel Tufnell, a guitar god who inspired many great axemen, including Slash, probably. And we thought we'd ask Mr. Slash about his own real-life Guns N' Roses Spinal Tap moment, which apparently happened live on stage at a festival somewhere.
We were just tired. We didn't get to sound check, and we thought we'll just go out there and just play. And it was one of those gigs where I still have sort of nightmares about it, where we just went out there and couldn't pull it together. Completely just fell apart. Couldn't hear what the other guy was doing. Everybody was just in a completely different place, and it was literally just horrible. And I think we went on late and we left the stage early. It started raining, and it was just like the most miserable gig. And about a year later, I got some mail from the management office, and there was this envelope, and I opened it up, and it was a broken in half cassette of Appetite for Destruction, and some fan who was at that gig said, "I'll never listen to you guys again."
And if guitarists can have a Spinal Tap moment on stage, Our number 7 movie moment shows how they can have them backstage too. A favourite of Planet Rock Facebook voters Ivor Kidman and Sue Andrews.
Look, would you be holding
No,
this?
I wouldn't want to eat. I wouldn't want to put it in my mouth.
All right, hey, exhibit,
you're right.
exhibit A, and then we move on to this. Look, who's in here? No one. And then in here, there's a little guy. Look, so it's a complete catastrophe.
No, you're right.
It's all.
I don't want it to affect your performance.
It's not going to affect my performance. Don't worry about it. All right. Okay. Just hate it. Really, it does disturb me.
Again.
But I
It's
rise
disgusting.
above it. I'm a professional.
You're
right?
Spinal Tap's 10 greatest moments, as voted by you.
Welcome back to the Tap Top 10 with me, Mark Jeeves, counting down your favourite bits from the original Spinal Tap movie as we celebrate the brand new one, The End Continues. Now we've reached number 6 in our chart, and it concerns those pesky but often necessary members of any rock band, the drummers.
Stampy's replacement, Peter James Bond, he also died in mysterious circumstances.
That's tragic, really. He exploded on stage.
Just like that. He just went up.
He just was like a flash of green light. And that was it.
Yes, that was it for Peter James Bond, another tragic drumming ending for Spinal Tap. But spontaneous combusting drummers aside, it turns out that bands do actually get through a lot of drummers, as Planet Rock listener and Spinal Tap fan Graham Clark told us.
Our band just now, we're on our 4th drummer, and we just seem to go through them.
Sometimes, according to rock legend Lita Ford, they don't appear on stage in time.
Bobby Rock, our drummer, got stuck in the service elevator. The show starts and there's no drummer. Where's Bobby? He's stuck in the service elevator. Oh, it's so Spinal Tap.
And sometimes, as told to us by Rick Wakeman, the stage set itself tries to kill their drummers.
I mean, the whole thing in Spinal Tap about getting stuck in the pod on stage, I mean, that happened with Alan White. He had a big clamshell that he was in, and it refused to open. And they literally had to pump oxygen in to get... I mean, looking back, it was hilarious, but he could have died.
Well, so now you know the inspiration for the Spinal Tap rock and roll creation pod was none other than Alan White in Yes. Another getting stuck on stage related disaster which felt very Spinal Tap happened to Guns N' Roses bass legend Duff McKagan.
My biggest Spinal Tap moment, I used to wear like big belts, and I had this one belt, had a massive buckle on it. And then we had this staging at Guns N' Roses. It was like graded metal staging. And I don't know what I was doing, but I went down and I was like sprawled out on the stage for whatever reason. Graded stage, metal crosses, buckle, and all this stuff. I got stuck on the stage. And I was stuck and I was trying to get up, I couldn't. And I was playing, we were in mid-song. Like, you can't unbuckle your belt and like get free yourself. Because you got a bass and you got stuff. So Bob, my bass tech, this grumpy guy, like, God damn it. He came out, God damn it. He's trying to undo I think he undid my belt.
Okay, so we'll go from Duff McKagan's belt. We'll stay in the general trouser area, I suppose, for the clip that you voted as number 5 on Planet Rock's social media channels. So for Stuart Ferrer, Rolf Verbach on Facebook, Greg Morgan on X, and all of you who wanted Derek Small's airport scanner moment, well, here you go.
What? So,
Step over here, please.
Travel later.
Raise your arms.
Grand Forks. Scheduled 20-part tripping.
Do you have any artificial plates or limbs?
Not really, no.
Would you,
Derek Smalls and his... Was it a cucumber or an aubergine? Either way, for Planet Rock listener Deborah Lou from Oxford, it was something that touched a nerve.
The bit in the airport, of course, with the guy in spandex with the cucumber down the front of his trousers. I think I almost wet myself. Typical male.
Okay, our number 4 moment in the Tap Top 10 was not just a favourite of many of you who picked it as your standout moment for the film. It was a favourite of our rock star Spinal Tap fans too, because number 4 is the Hello Cleveland unable to find stage moment. And as Def Leppard's Joe Elliott explains, it's a very common problem for rock bands.
Well, we've kept him waiting long enough. Let's do it to him. Come on, Mick! Let's go, Mr. Shrimpkin!
Everybody that's ever performed on stage has had an Hello Cleveland moment where you head towards the stage, but somehow by going up and down stairs and along corridors, you end up walking into broom closets or storage rooms nowhere near the stage. You can hear the crowd baying for your attention, yet there you are, lost in the wilderness underneath the stage. We've all done it, and I dare say it will happen again many, many more times.
It's going to be a hot one, isn't it? It's going to be a great show. No, it's not an exit. It's not an exit. We don't want an exit. Well, that's true. Oh, this way. I'm sorry.
Danny Bowes from Thunder has been trapped under stages too.
If you've ever been in a band, it's so well observed, it's frightening. I have lost count of the number of times we have used phrases from that show during gigs of our own. Hello Cleveland springs to mind. We spent so many years walking around backstage in corridors not knowing where we're going. Hello Cleveland is so appropriate, it's frightening. Mind you, I heard a tale that a very famous band who shall not be named watched it and didn't laugh. What's all that about?
We're in the group. Why, sure. We're in the group that's playing tonight. You go right straight through this door here, down the hall. Yeah. Turn right. Yeah. And then there's a little jog there, about 30 feet. Jog to the left.
We don't have time for that.
Go straight ahead. Go straight ahead. Yeah. Turn right the next two corners. And the first door you sign, authorized personnel only. Yeah. Open that door. That's the stage.
You think so?
You authorized. You're musicians, aren't you?
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Rock and roll.
Now, Guy Pratt is one of rock's most sought-after bass guitarists, having worked with Pink Floyd and David Gilmour, Jimmy Page and David Coverdale, to name a very few. He's also now co-host of the #1 music podcast, The Raconteurs. And for him, Hello Cleveland causes flashbacks to those giant, epic Pink Floyd tours of the 1980s and 1990s.
I've had so many Spinal Tap moments. I mean, so many that I can't even think of listing them here. Funny enough, the most Spinal Tap moment I've ever had, and this is what's even more Spinal Tap, is it actually didn't happen to me. It's something that happened to Mick Ralphs, and I said it happened to me, and I put it in my book because I knew that Mick was never going to write a book, and then everyone thought it happened. Everyone remembered it happening to me. That in itself is, I think, is tappery of the highest order. But it did get to a point, I remember, with Pink Floyd, where tap became such shorthand for everything. Like, whatever happened, you go, oh, that's a bit tap. So, and people would just come up with, you couldn't walk into any building without someone going, hello, Cleveland. It's like, look, we're not lost or anything. We just walked into a building. And so it got to the point where I started carrying yellow cards in my pocket. So whenever anyone did a tap reference, it was instant yellow card.
Rock and roll! Let's get it! Let's get it! This way? No, this way. This way. Straight rock and roll! Rock and roll! Here we go! Hello, Cleveland! Hello, Cleveland!
And sometimes, taking the wrong turn and getting lost happens, well, even when you're not near the stage, as Brian Johnson from AC/DC remembered.
We were leaving this huge stadium in, is it Denmark or Sweden? Denmark or something. With 60,000 people. And we're quick in the car, quick. We're going to get back to the hotel before the crowd gets in, or we'll be stuck in the traffic. So we're all running into our buses, these little VW things. We run into these buses, and the drivers go straight out, and instead of turning right, they turned left, right to the main exits of the building. We were sitting there. They didn't have it. They were just climbing over the top of it and banging it. We were going, oh.
The Tap Top 10 on the Spinal Tap Top 10 on Planet Rock.
We're now into the top 3. And thanks to Phil Harland, Mark Halstead, Paul Osborne and Katie Pez, to name just a few dozen, this scene takes the bronze.
It's pretty. Yeah, I like it. Just been fooling about with it for a few months now. Very delicate.
It's a bit of a departure from the kind of thing you normally play.
Yeah, well, it's part of a trilogy, really, a musical trilogy that I'm doing in D minor, which I always find is really the saddest of all keys, really. I don't know why, but it makes people weep instantly to play that. It's a horn part.
It's very pretty.
Yeah, just simple lines intertwining. You know, very much like I'm really influenced by Mozart and Bach, and it's sort of in between though. It's like a Mach piece, really.
Well, from that rather touching musical moment there, we're into the final two classic Spinal Tap film scenes in the Tap Top 10 countdown from Planet Rock. So, which is it at number 2?
I mean, it's the right proportions. It'll be this colour, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just terrific. I mean, it almost looks like the real thing.
Got it.
Yeah. When we get the actual set, when we get the piece, it'll follow exactly these specifications. I mean, even these contours and everything.
I don't understand you.
But I mean,
when the actual piece.
Well, when you build the actual piece.
But this is what you asked for, isn't it?
What?
Well, this is the piece.
This is the piece?
Yes.
Are you telling me that this is it? This is scenery? Have you ever been to Stonehenge?
No, I haven't been to Stonehenge.
The triptychs are 20 feet high. You can stand 4 men up them.
Ian, I was
This is insane. This isn't a piece of scenery.
Look, this is what I was asked to build. 18 inches, right here. It's specified, 18 inches. I was given this napkin. I mean,
forget it.
Stonehenge from Spinal Tap, the scene from the movie that you voted number 2 in the Tap Top 10 from Planet Rock. And as to its inspiration, well, some say it was Black Sabbath's set that was so big it wouldn't fit into any stadium anywhere in the world, while others looked to props that also didn't quite go to plan. Enter Storm Thorgerson, co-creator of Hypnosis, the artistic team, behind legendary album covers for Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin and Sabbath, many others as well, and also the man behind the rock prop that made world headlines.
In the same way as the pig for Battersea Power Station, which was a wonderful event, totally Spinal Tap and beyond one's wildest dreams, really. I mean, can you imagine?
Having snipers at a photo shoot? Not really.
Yeah,
no.
well, not only having snipers, but then not hiring him the next day when the pig escaped.
When it actually did escape.
And so the pig, which is about 30 or 40 foot long, sailed into the heavens, unfortunately, into the air lanes for incoming jets for Heathrow. And you can always imagine them. What did the pilot say? Was he going to tell the traffic controller down to Heathrow? I've seen a pig.
Quiet.
Is he going to stay quiet? Anyway, it hit the national headlines the next day, and in a way, you could never have gotten that publicity, however hard you worked. So it was, in that sense, the manager loved all it. He said, "It's great. Look, we're on the headline on 3 national dailies, and you couldn't get that kind of promo without paying through the nose, which you didn't pay a penny for."
And as Rick Wakeman remembered, crazy stage sets were only half the trouble.
With Yes, we had a stage set which Roger Dean built, which was brilliant. But the only problem was we couldn't see each other. We were all hidden away and things, so basically that got scrapped. We had Spinal Tap moments in the studio where we had the situation where half the band wanted to record in the city, in London, and the other half wanted to record in the country. So in the end, we decided to compromise that we would record in London, but turn the studio into a farmyard. It was at Morgan Studios, sadly no longer exists, great studios, managed by a guy called Monty Babson. I remember arriving the morning of the first day of recording, and I was always there early, and Monty was there, and I said, "How is it, Monty?" He said, "What on earth is going on?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, there's lorries arriving with stuff." I said, "That's called our equipment, Monty." He said, "But there's haystacks that have gone in there, hay bales." He said, "and picket fences." He said, "And there is," he said, "it's quite amazing." He said, "There is a cardboard cut-out cow with electric udders." And I said, he said, "I'm not." So I went over there, and he was right, there was. And my keyboards were balanced on hay bales, and there was this cow with swinging udders under. I had to have a complete whole set of new keyboards because I had the only keyboards that had weevils and other insects and things living inside them. It was pure and utter Spinal Tap.
So there you go. We've had miniature bread, guitars you can't even look at, dobbly, and cucumbers. Or was it an aubergine? Anyway, yes, the Tap Top 10 from Planet Rock has brought us some of the finest moments from this classic movie. But the question remains, what is number 1? Well, from all the votes on Facebook, X and Instagram, plus your emails, it was unanimous. As Paul Child on Facebook said, Turn It Up to 11 is now part of the lexicon. And really, this show could have been called The Tap Top 11.
Number 1.
So there you go. We turned it up to 11. We've enjoyed that look back at the greatest rock mockumentary of all time. Or is it? Perhaps Spinal Tap II, The End Continues, will take that crown.